Hi, this is Christy from Back to the Bar. You've probably heard about GLP-1 weight loss medications and the side effects that can come with jumping in too fast. That's why I Love Noom makes getting started easy. Their microdose GLP-1 program begins with a smaller dose and gradually scales up based on how your body reacts. The Noom GLP-1 microdose program starts at $99 and is delivered to your door in 7 days. Start your microdose GLP-1 journey today at Noom.com. That's Noom.com. Noom, micro changes, big results.
Average weight loss 8 pounds in first month. Meds and personalization based on clinical need and not available to all individuals. Medications are not reviewed by FDA for safety, efficacy, or quality. Pricing based on first month only.
This holiday, Verizon is giving you incredible gifts and savings you'll enjoy all year. When you switch, you'll get 4 new iPhone 17 Pros. No trade-in needed. That's right. Get 4 lines for just $25 a line and the amazing iPhone 17 Pro for everyone. Save big this holiday. Visit Verizon today. $20 monthly promo credits applied to account over 35 months with a new line on unlimited welcome. In times of congestion, unlimited 5G and 4G LTE may be temporarily slower than other traffic. Domestic data roaming at 2G speeds. Additional terms apply for phone offer. See Verizon.com for details.
Maybe you like cooking. Maybe you don't. Either way, the new Blue Apron is for you. Because along with our classic meal kits, we're offering new pre-made and one-pan meals to help you get dinner on the table fast. And now there's no subscription needed, so you can just order and enjoy. Do delicious food your way. Shop 100+ meals at blueapron.com. Get 50% off your first 2 orders with code APRON50. Terms and conditions apply. Visit blueapron.com/terms for more.
This holiday, Verizon is giving you incredible gifts and savings you'll enjoy all year. When you switch, you'll get 4 new iPhone 17 Pros. No trade-in needed. That's right. Get 4 lines for just $25 a line and the amazing iPhone 17 Pro for everyone. Save big this holiday. Visit Verizon today. $20 monthly promo credits applied to account over 35 months with a new line on unlimited welcome. In times of congestion, unlimited 5G and 4G LTE may be temporarily slower than other traffic. Domestic data roaming at 2G speeds. Additional terms apply for phone offer. See Verizon.com for details.
Hi, this is Christy from Back to the Bar. You've probably heard about GLP-1 weight loss medications and the side effects that can come with jumping in too fast. That's why I Love Noom makes getting started easy. Their microdose GLP-1 program begins with a smaller dose and gradually scales up based on how your body reacts. The Noom GLP-1 microdose program starts at $99 and is delivered to your door in 7 days. Start your microdose GLP-1 journey today at Noom.com. That's Noom.com. Noom, micro changes, big results.
Average weight loss 8 pounds in first month. Meds and personalization based on clinical need and not available to all individuals. Medications are not reviewed by FDA for safety, efficacy, or quality. Pricing based on first month only.
Hello, I'm Sarah and welcome to the Whispering Woods After Dark. I've got another saviour tale today. It is quite creepy, but we do take a look at where it may have come from. It's like an urban legend. I found it really, really interesting, and I can imagine that I might see the same thing driving about these days in this country. Such is my mind. I'll get straight into it. Are you ready for the story? The tale of the Black Volga is perhaps the most infamous urban legend to emerge from behind the Iron Curtain. In the 1960s and 70s, during the dark days of the Cold War, stories spread of a mysterious black Volga limousine that prowled city streets after dusk, snatching up unsuspecting victims. The car was always described the same way: a shiny black gas Volga sedan, a luxury vehicle in the Soviet era, outfitted with distinct white trimmings like white wheel rims and lacy white curtains in the windows. It was a car that ordinary people could not easily obtain. In fact, the Volga model was typically reserved for high-ranking officials and elites, a symbol of status and power. Perhaps that's part of what made it so frightening. Back then, seeing a Volga slide through your neighbourhood meant someone important or dangerous had arrived. In these legends, the Black Volga's driver was never fully seen. Some swore the car was driven by agents of the secret police, the notorious KGB, out to silence dissidents in the dead of night. Others insisted the ones behind the wheel were far more sinister, defrocked priests and nuns turned evil, members of occult sects, or even the devil himself in disguise. Whoever or whatever drove that car, the result was always the same. If the Black Volga pulled up beside you, you disappeared. Parents warned their children never to talk to strangers by the road, and certainly never to approach a Black Volga with white curtains after dark. The origins of this legend can be traced to a very real fear and a very real car. The gas Volga was a model produced by the Soviet Gorky automobile plant, and owning one was a privilege of the powerful. Government ministers, party officials, and secret police commanders were often chauffeured in Volgas. And in the climate of paranoia that gripped Eastern Europe during the Cold War, an expensive black car symbolized authority or repression. In fact, decades earlier, during Stalin's purges, it was said that black cars, like the Gaz M1 sedans, carrying NKVD agents, would come at night to take people away, never to return. It's little wonder that by the 1960s, a black government car had become the centerpiece of a terrifying folk story. The Black Volga legend first gained traction in Poland in the late 1950s and early 1960s, a time when the country was under a repressive communist regime. People began talking about a certain Black Volga that kidnapped children off the streets once night fell. Like any good urban legend, the story of the Black Volga evolved over time, taking on new twists with each retelling. What began as a simple cautionary tale of a car kidnapping kids soon grew into a complex web of theories, reflecting the anxieties of the era. Different versions of the legend identified different culprits and motives. Many believe the Black Volga was literally the secret police on wheels. A shiny Volga idling on a quiet street could mean that someone in the neighbourhood was about to be disappeared for speaking against the regime. It was not uncommon in Stalinist times for unmarked black cars to cut off political enemies. This version of the legend felt believable because it echoed an awful reality that the government could make you vanish without a trace. Other tellings blamed figures on the fringes of Soviet society. Some pointed to rogue priests or nuns, a dark irony in a regime that was officially atheist and often vilified the clergy. In a time of anti-religious propaganda, a rumour of corrupted holy figures kidnapping children in a demon car had a twisted logic. Another variation spoke of witches and Satanists commandeering the Volga, using black magic to make the car appear and vanish at will. And in the most extreme version, It was Satan himself behind the wheel, cruising the streets to collect souls for hell. One particularly chilling variant that emerged in the late 1960s claimed that the kidnappers were not Soviet at all, but foreigners prowling for victims. According to these rumours, rich Western businessmen or Middle Eastern buyers in the Volga were abducting children to drain their blood, which would then be smuggled out and used as a cure for leukemia by wealthy patients abroad. This macabre theory of blood harvesting had its roots in the real mistrust between East and West. It played on fears that outsiders were literally feeding on Soviet children to extend their own lives. In some accounts, the victims' bodies would later be found completely drained of blood, with mysterious puncture marks on their necks, as if hinting at vampirism. As medical advances and transplantation became more widely known, the legend adapted. Another twist said that victims of the Black Volga had their organs harvested, kidneys, livers, to be sold on the international black market, or used in secret experiments. This effectively merged the Black Volga tale with the global urban legend of waking up in a bathtub full of ice minus a kidney. In the Soviet versions, though, the organ thieves were often portrayed as rogue doctors or scientists working in hidden labs, spirited away by that silent black car. Not all explanations were human. Some people whispered that the car itself was cursed, a possessed vehicle with a mind of its own. Locals spoke of a phantom car that could appear out of nowhere and vanish without a trace, suggesting an almost supernatural intelligence at work. Crossing its path might bring death or misfortune, unless you knew how to ward it off. One Polish tale claimed that if the driver rolled down the window and asked for the time, you had to respond, "It is God's time," and only then would the Black Volga abruptly disappear, leaving you alive. But woe to those who failed this test. If you answered normally, the driver would simply nod and say, "Thank you," and as you walked away, you would drop dead exactly 24 hours later. With each retelling, the Black Volga legend shapeshifted. In some cities, it wasn't a Volga at all, but a black ambulance that took the children away, as happened in certain 1970s Czechoslovakia and Romania versions. In later decades, stories cropped up of a black BMW or Mercedes replacing the Volga. New luxury cars to fit new times. But at heart, all these stories shared that same image: a black vehicle, an unknown driver, and innocent victims who vanish into the night. Throughout the 1970s, the legend spread beyond its Polish origins. Soon, people across the Soviet Union and Eastern Europe were trading the same nightmarish stories. By the end of the Cold War, nearly every former Eastern Bloc nation had its own version of the Black Volga tale. But at heart, all the retellings asked the same question: where did the taken ones go? Legends like the Black Volga thrive on alleged eyewitness accounts. Stories told by a friend of a friend, or by someone who swears they almost became a victim. These first-person tales, whether true or imagined, are what made the Black Volga more than just a rumour. They made it personal. One such story comes from a school teacher in Kyiv who recounted an incident from the late 1970s with haunting clarity. She remembered how one of her students a quiet 9-year-old boy, stopped coming to class after a summer weekend. The rumour was that he had gone to play at a park and never returned. Children on the playground claimed they saw a black car with Moscow plates offering candy to the boy right before he vanished. The teacher shared what she had heard. 2 well-dressed strangers had been seen near that car, foreigners speaking an unfamiliar accent, luring kids with Western bubblegum, a rare treat back then. The next anyone heard, the boy's body was supposedly found days later at the edge of a forest, missing several organs. Police hushed up the details, but among neighbours the conclusion was clear. The Black Volga had struck, and it was stealing children for their organs or blood. When frightened people compared notes, common details emerged that made everything feel more real. The car always had those white curtains, often concealing whoever sat inside. It often appeared spotlessly clean, despite the muddy, pothole-ridden roads. And it seemed to show up near schools, orphanages, or lonely playgrounds, targeting the young and vulnerable. In many stories, anyone who got a clear look at the Black Volga did not live long to tell about it. People who bragged of seeing it or tried to alert others were said to meet with accidents or swift, unexplained deaths the following day. By the time the 1980s rolled round, the Black Volga legend became a major part of Cold War folklore. It was more than a ghost story. It was a mirror of the society from which it sprang. The legend's endurance owed much to how it played upon real fears of the era. Fear of authoritarian power, fear of outsiders, fear of disappearing without a trace. Under oppressive regimes, where newspapers were censored and truths were often hidden, ordinary people sometimes found truth in the legends. Telling the tale of the Black Volga became a covert way to express the anxieties of living under constant surveillance and control. Was the car a stand-in for the state itself? Many quietly thought so. As one commentary on the legend notes, the Volga, being the most expensive, luxurious vehicle of its time, and mostly owned by communist officials, naturally inspired dread among those who felt powerless. The evil car in the story could be read as a metaphor for an evil government, one that thrived on the fears of their country's people, as one writer put it. Even as the Iron Curtain fell, the tale lived on. In 1973, a Polish horror film titled Black Volga hit theatres, dramatising the legend on the silver screen. Its synopsis spoke of a wave of child kidnappings across Poland, Hungary, Romania and Ukraine, hinting that perhaps the KGB or other nefarious forces were behind it. The fact that such a film was made shows how strongly the myth had taken hold by the early 70s. In later years, the Black Volga legend was collected in books and urban legend archives, noted by folklorists and journalists as a prime example of 20th century scare lore. It even found its way into music. As late as 2003, a popular Polish rock band referenced the Black Volga in a song's chorus, proving that generations who grew up with the story hadn't forgotten its impact. What makes the Black Volga so compelling and so creepy is how it straddles the line between fiction and fact. We know, for instance, that one real-life event in Warsaw, 1965, likely sparked the entire legend. On April the 3rd, 2 women kidnapped a 3-year-old girl named Liliana Hansel. News of the abduction spread quickly, and witnesses reported seeing the women and child get into a cab, a black Volga. Police found Liliana soon after and returned her safely home. That single detail, a black Volga involved in a child kidnapping, was like a seed dropped on fertile soil. In the paranoid imagination of the public, it grew into a sprawling demonic oak of a story. As one Polish author noted, it was then the Black Volga became branded in people's memory. Each retelling added new branches to the tree, a dash of the supernatural here, a hint of conspiracy there, until the legend took on a life of its own. Fortunately, the real Black Volgas, and indeed all Volgas, have long since vanished from modern streets. They're vintage relics now, not everyday sights. But the ghost of this legend still lingers. Parents from Warsaw to Kyiv can recall how their mothers once warned them about the phantom car. Urban legend enthusiasts around the world now discuss the Black Volga alongside Western tales of men in black, or phantom clowns, all stories of malevolent figures who may or may not be real. And every so often, someone swears that in the quiet corner of a post-Soviet town, they glimpsed a black sedan with white curtains gliding by, only to doubt their own eyes moments later. The legend of the Black Volga forced people to ask, who can you trust when even an innocent-looking car might hide unspeakable evil? A government vehicle might actually be a monster in plain sight. That sense of uncertainty, of fear woven into everyday life, is the Black Volga's true legacy. Sometimes a society's deepest anxieties take shape in folklore. The Black Volga was a nightmare born from real shadows, tyrants in black cars, strangers with sweets, illnesses without cures, all rolled into one terrifying package. It may not have been real in a literal sense, but it was true to the people who believed it.
This holiday, Verizon is giving you incredible gifts and savings you'll enjoy all year. When you switch, you'll get 4 new iPhone 17 Pros, no trade-in needed. That's right, get 4 lines for just $25 a line and the amazing iPhone 17 Pro for everyone. Save big this holiday. Visit Verizon today. $20 monthly promo credits applied to account over 35 months with a new line on unlimited welcome. In times of congestion, unlimited 5G and 4G LTE may be temporarily slower than other traffic. Domestic data roaming at 2G speeds. Additional terms apply for phone offer. See Verizon.com for details.
Hi, this is Christy from Back to the Bar. You've probably heard about GLP-1 weight loss medications and the side effects that can come with jumping in too fast. That's why I Love Noom makes getting started easy. Their microdose GLP-1 program begins with a smaller dose and gradually scales up based on how your body reacts. The Noom GLP-1 microdose program starts at $99 and is delivered to your door in 7 days. Start your microdose GLP-1 journey today at Noom.com. That's Noom.com. Noom, micro changes, big results.
Average weight loss 8 pounds in first month. Meds and personalization based on clinical need and not available to all individuals. Medications are not reviewed by FDA for safety, efficacy, or quality. Pricing based on first month only.
This legend, to me, was really quite visceral. I could really see this car. I'd say to you, take a look at the car and you'll know what I mean. And if you can imagine it with those white curtains driving around, people would have been terrified, especially with people just disappearing if they were against what the government was doing, you know, all that sort of stuff. It really is frightening. And it hits you, well, it hits me on this level that I'm really, really uncomfortable with. because I don't trust the government. I don't trust our government. I don't trust any government. I think they're all in it for the money. And so this kind of story really hits me. I hope you enjoyed it, and we will catch you again tomorrow. Take care, everyone.
This holiday, Verizon is giving you incredible gifts and savings you'll enjoy all year. When you switch, you'll get 4 new iPhone 17 Pros, no trade-in needed. That's right, get 4 lines for just $25 a line and the amazing iPhone 17 Pro for everyone. Save big this holiday. Visit Verizon today. $20 monthly promo credits applied to account over 35 months with a new line on unlimited welcome. In times of congestion, unlimited 5G and 4G LTE may be temporarily slower than other traffic. Domestic data roaming at 2G speeds. Additional terms apply for phone offer. See Verizon.com for details.
A rich life isn't a straight line to a destination on the horizon. Sometimes it takes an unexpected turn with detours, new possibilities, and even another passenger or 3. And with 100 years of navigating ups and downs, you can count on Edward Jones to help guide you through it all. Because life is a winding path, made rich by the people you walk it with. Let's find your rich together. Edward Jones, member SIPC.
The stories told on the Whispering Woods are inspired by historical records, witness reports, and local folklore. While every effort is made to research and represent events accurately, some details, names, and locations may differ from official accounts or have been changed out of respect for those involved. These episodes are created for storytelling and entertainment purposes and should not be considered definitive fact or investigative journalism.